I had it muted. Live again. High Response Marketing live stream. Live show, technically live stream. I appreciate you guys showing up again. Hopefully you can hear me fine. I got my sound effects loaded. You know, you buy all these expensive freaking microphones and stuff, and then you find out that it actually sounds fine just working it through the computer. I appreciate that, guys, for last week testing out how this sounds right through the computer. I can't believe it. I can't believe it. You buy all these expensive freaking phone or microphones. They have this new AI, artificial intelligence, is getting so scary smart. I don't know if you've heard about this. It's Adobe. I should put this up here as a thing. It's called Adobe. Well, it's Adobe Shasta, but I just want to mention it. It's for. It might be called something else. It's part of the Adobe Shasta project, but it is. It's free. You can go on Adobe. I'd have to get the link. It's a specific link. It's totally free. You can shoot video or audio with whatever. You can use I can take a microphone that's freaking 15 feet away and it's busy, echoey, and you take that audio, upload it to this website, Adobe, part of Adobe Shasta's project, and it waits a minute and it sends you back an audio file. Like friggin' your voice will sound incredible. It like spices up your voice, takes all the noise out, takes all the echo out, and you're left with this like incredible audio clip. Because what it does is it analyzes your voice. It uses AI to remove all the echoes, even the plosives and like their S's. It makes them sound better, and it like recreates your voice in a more attractive sound, and it essentially takes your voice, recreates it, spits it back without the background. It's unbelievably good. Like there's a problem when you shoot videos. If the microphone is too far back, it will start to sound bad, especially if you're in a room that's not treated well. Like you literally have to get good audio, you normally have to be like really close. Like you start getting this far, not so good. You start getting like this far, not good. You go a few feet, like 5 feet, it sounds horrible. But now with Adobe Shasta. So if you were thinking about doing a podcast or anything, it could be a really good solution for you. Recording on your phone, recording on the crappiest mic you need. It's amazing. So just want to throw that out there. What's up, Dennis and Bill Stanley? Good to see you guys. Good to see you guys. Got Earl Carvin here. The Irish chap is right here waiting. My good friend from Scotland, she moved behind me. She's a neighbor in behind me, like in my backyard. She moved here from Scotland. She was just posting on Facebook the other day the snow from last year. She said, we never got this kind of snow in Scotland. She goes, now it's like nothing. It's like I just go brush it off the car. It's like nothing. But it would have terrorized her, over in Scotland. So I'm sure that's the same thing where you are. Not as much snow. It's going to be bad here today. We're going to get a lot of snow and 50-mile-an-hour winds. So this internet stays up. What time is it? 1:05. I got a few minutes just to let everyone get on here. We're definitely going to talk about sales because Tim Black won't be on today's show, but did request, he'll be watching later, and he did request for me to talk about sales. I was going to a couple weeks ago. I never got the chance. So we're definitely going to talk about sales. I have some really pro tips, really good ones. Really, really good ones. They'll probably make their way into a product at some point. I have another product too. I have a 2023 product coming out. I have the Banger coming out. So there's a few things. I have the Print Mastery still in the works. There's a lot of stuff that still has to get done. Dorn Brenton's here. Thank you. And thank you for the film. I appreciate it, guys. I really appreciate it. I love seeing you guys. Dan's here. Good. Thank you for coming on, Dan. I like to see a lot of people. Rob Smith on YouTube. I think it's easier to watch this over YouTube. That's my opinion. Oh, did it go through? Oh, there it is. I just met my employee of I hired her in May, so 6 months or so. I just met her for the first time today, and she only lives 10 minutes away. But I just met her just now. We were in kind of a bind. My one of my girls that works for me couldn't make it today. We had a lot to do, and So I called Megan in, Megan is I just met her first time, and she works with me 15, 20 hours a week. I've never met her, considering she lives so close. But she does all she does is help me with proofs and like freaking fixing bleeds and adding bleeds for people and checking dimensions and just the proof stuff, all the proof stuff she does for me. But she came in to help me out on some mailings today. I had a bunch of Chick-fil-A mailings. Been doing Chick-fil-A mailings a lot. I got to go pick up a check for $7,323 later. And what's funny, you can tell how I've progressed as a marketer, I guess, that it's almost like it's like a hassle. It's like, I don't even want to go and pick up this freaking check. Like, whereas 10 years ago, where someone would have been like, oh my God, when I was first started, like, it's $7,330, but else, like, I don't even want to go. I want to pay someone to go pick up the check or something. I don't even want to do it. But that'll be a really good mailing. That'll be a really good one. 15,000 pieces. Canva. Now instead searching for an image, you put in the search and the AI create. No. That's the visual thing. That's DALL-E or whatever. I gotta turn that off. It's my freaking phone. Hang on, I gotta turn it. It's gonna go off constantly if I don't turn this off. Or my desk. No, this is part of Adobe Shasta's project with DaVinci Resolve. Also has it now, but it's using AI to recreate your voice, enhance your voice, and reduce sound. So it'll take out, you could be in a noisy environment using a crappy camera, or the microphone is kind of far away, and it makes your voice incredible. It's amazing. Mary Grace is not here. She's the one who bailed out on me today. She bailed out on me yesterday too. Freaking kids. So I had to call Megan in. I saw that. I'm just looking here. Yeah, that's it. Project Shasta. And you can upload. It's free. Totally free. Hopefully I'm bright enough. I don't know if it's kind of dark, but hopefully it's all right. I got to get to the content here quick. What was... Oh, I wanted to mention too, StreamYard, the software that I use here to stream, had just made a huge improvement. And I'm excited about this. They just added this feature called On Air. It's basically webinars. So it's good. Now I can do webinars, and I have to use a freaking GoToWebinar. I won't use GoToWebinar. It's so clunky and old timey. I can't stand GoToWebinar. I will refuse to use it. But now StreamYard has webinars. So we can now have you sign up with your email, and there's no, like, you don't have to download up any software. You just put your name and email in, and it emails you the reminder, the access, and no software to download, none of that. And it's basically like this kind of format, but in a webinar, and I can embed it onto websites. So that's a brand new feature that just released, and I'm excited to do that. Maybe do some like workshops, some private, like maybe like mini coaching sessions or something, or workshops on a specific topic. We get real deep, high level information. I'm very excited about that. Dan says, we recently lost the local job printer in our college town. About 7,000 remaining providers. Quick print, does that prevent? Yeah, definitely. Oh, of course. I mean, quick printing is really a huge, and it's been that way for a while. Digital printing, where you can print things very fast and in any kind of quantity, has really become a big trend. But that's only usually feasible for very small quantities. Once you start getting into these upper quantities, the digital stuff doesn't make sense. It starts to get significantly cheaper at higher quantities using your regular offset, which I'm going to be providing for you at a super fast pace anyways. So you should be totally fine there. You're totally fine. And even this quick print stuff, which I can do a lot of too for you, you may find yourself even being cheaper, and in some cases maybe faster. So quick print may be a week turnaround for them, where you might need stuff to turn around in 2 days, at their door in 2 days. They have an event or something, and you need some banners or some flyers or postcards or something very quick. So absolutely. Yeah, StreamYard just announced it like 2 or 3 days ago. And I literally just got the access yesterday. Very cool. And their features are so good. I mean, their StreamYard does it right. They're very good, and it's very affordable. GoToWebinar was so crazy expensive. I'm very, very excited about that. No more clunky GoToWebinar software. I actually landed them by just putting out contact through YouTube. So just they've stumbled on my YouTube, and it has been a rush of franchises. So they connect, and this is different states. I don't know if it's like a manager, a regional manager or something that's sending. So I'm getting all these different franchise owners everywhere. I don't know. It just happens. I think if you just keep looking. And these guys would have, I could tell you, the ones I've dealt with are so cool, and they would have used anyone. I mean, they would have literally, if you had called them, they would have been on it in a second. Like I don't know if Chick-fil-A doesn't have like a printing source or something for like neighborhood EDM mailings. Like, I don't know, but yeah, I got them all in the back right now. I gotta get them out. Freaking, here's a funny story. Chick-fil-A, one of them gives me this artwork, and it's freaking got like the logos all pixelated, and I'm like, I can't print this. I'm gonna look so bad. And I had to go on and freaking find the Chick-fil-A logo and like a clear one. Like, here I am, like, I'm freaking Chick-fil-A can't send you the freaking asset or something. I don't, and they seem to be a pretty tight running ship. So yeah, upgrade, because now they have the Cyber Monday pricing right now, and you get double the seats. So if you have 100, like a 100 person seat, you'll get 250 or something. So you can upgrade now, and you get that price forever. Definitely worth it. You can, I mean, they have, you can high definition recordings that you can download all the, I am doing podcast. I'm going to start doing my podcast on StreamYard. I got to get back on this podcast. I'm going to have Scott Meisner's going to be on a podcast. Tim Black. I'm going to start getting these guys on podcasts. Whether they talk, they can talk or video, it doesn't matter, but I can record all over StreamYard, and it allows me to download it and to edit it if I need to, put it on the actual file. So everything sounds really good. I'm very excited. Central Sound, good to see you. That's I think that Jonathan, if I'm right. Yes, they provide their own art, but I've had to fix things. I know, it's weird. It's really freaking weird. It's kind of mind-blowing to me, honestly, but I'm not complaining. Yeah, they have the you can stream a pre-recorded webinars. There's a bunch of other features. I mean, and if you request things, they're like really good about adding them. If you watch their town hall things on live, they go over it. I'm excited, really excited. Okay, yes, Jonathan. I'm really good with names, not good with faces. Faces throw me off, and I think that's the opposite for most people. But I'm really good with names. I can remember names really well. I was going to put these. Okay, we're going to talk about we're going to do some pro tips here. Making sales fun. I think that is the most useful way of getting better at sales, is making it fun. Now I'm going to talk primarily, this will cover all kinds of sales, but primarily kind of going door to door. Like you're going to be cold talking to business owners. You're still going to get a lot out of this, even if you're not doing that method, but I'm going to stick with kind of the hardest, which is cold canvassing, going and talking to business owners cold. Everyone's scared of that and everything. And I understand it's a pain, but sometimes when you need business, you need fresh new clients, or you're just starting out, it's a new area, or you just want to, you just want to pull some business up today. Canvassing is the way to do it. Like, it's just, I think any marketer, local marketer, should be in your arsenal. You are working with local clients. You should not be afraid of talking to them. So we are going to talk about some ways to make things fun, along with some really pro tips. Because if you make it fun, it's exciting, and you don't want it to be boring. Yeah, I mean, I'm sure if I had like the actual Chick-fil-A corporate doing something, it would be a different story, but their franchisees just do whatever they want, I guess. I don't know. They seem to be really cool to work with. Yeah, I'm sure they don't. I'm sure they could get that stuff. For me, it's like, no, let me just figure this out for you and get it done. So making sales fun. This has saved me so many times because it's not, it's cold, it's hot, it's rainy, it's nasty, you're in a bad mood or something. Like going door to door in sales can be a real drag, or just talking to business owners can be a real drag. So it's good. And even with meetings, or you got to go meet, you're nervous, you've got to get into this mindset that it's fun. You got to make ways that this is fun. This is a fun thing to do. This is exciting. And that exudes off you. If you're having a good time, you're more confident. It reads off. No one wants to deal with, especially not someone selling something that's in a bad mood. Like no one wants to deal with that, or that's nervous or anxious. You want someone that's lively, that's sharp, confident. That's how you have to be confident, because people want to work with someone who's confident. If they're going to buy from you and if they're going to trust your marketing skill or ability or whatever product you're selling, they're going to trust it. They need someone being confident. That's what they need. Like, you don't want to buy from someone, especially hundreds or thousands of dollars, from someone who isn't confident, who's like shaky about things or nervous. Like, it's a big investment. You want to do business with someone who is confident. So it's important to have that confidence up. So here's some ways to make it fun. Let me put these up on banners so that way it's a little bit easier to scroll through. Let's here's a good one. I've talked about this before. I can't say it enough. You never know what's behind those doors. So I will often think of it as like a game show, if I'm going to go to 20 businesses or however many today, I've got to get in my mind what's behind those doors. Like, what is the next thing going to be? Because you don't know, especially when it's cold. Like, you don't know. It's not like you're going to a meeting or anything. That's a different mindset, kind of. But just start thinking what's behind those doors, like a game show. You don't know. It could be you could make a sale, and that sale could be a big freaking giant sale. It could be a little sale. You don't know. You don't know what it could be. It could be a total dud. You might go in there with a new connection. You don't know what's behind there. You will never know if you don't go in. You'll never know. So mentally, I have to do this all the time. It's like, if I don't go in there, I don't know. That's the only thing I know, is that I won't know if I go in there. But who knows what's behind there? And I think about deals that I've gotten where they're really good, recurring, hundreds of dollars a month, thousands of dollars a month, thousands of dollars a year, connections, referrals, friends, like all these things that I've gotten from walking indoors and talking to business owners could be right there. I will sometimes think of like, that could pay for a car. Like, I could go in there, sell them a spot on my 9x12 or whatever, recurring printing, postcard mailer, and that could be $500 a month. That could be a $500 a month profit. I don't know. And that could pay for a car. It could buy my kid a freaking car. It could pay the freaking water bill for the rest of the year. I could walk through that door and in a half an hour and 20 minutes come back out, and a bill could be paid for the rest of the next decade or something. And these are all realistic, happens all the time, total within the realm of possibility. And it's exciting to find out. And then if you think of those things, you're like, almost like, gosh, I can't go past this one. I got to stop in here, because the more that you go in, the bigger your chances of finding those are. So I just think of presents and surprises behind these doors. We don't know what's behind them. The only way we're going to find out is if we go in enough of them. And if you really get that mindset, if you really start training yourself to think of that, you won't want to go buy businesses. You will want to stop at every business you can. You will be driving around town and being like, I haven't gone in this one yet. And after a while, you'll have gone in all of them. You will have a ton of business, a ton of connections, and you'll be looking for new things. Something new pops up and you're like right on it. You're like, I gotta go in here. So that is a super pro tip that you won't find anywhere else. that is forged in the trenches by someone who's done it a lot. And it can make a world of difference. It can make a tremendous difference in your confidence, in your excitement, in your journey of local marketing sales. I hope that helps. There's more. I hope that helps. No one has commented, so I don't know if it's helping or not, but I'm sure it has helped. That is a super way to do that. And that's, you can apply that with meetings, and you got a meeting and you're anxious. Just you don't know what's behind. You don't know what's going to happen. But might there be a jerk in there too, or something thrown around? Sure, maybe. Who cares? You're going to get those idiots, dummies. Dan says the wheels are turning. See, he understands. Dan understands. I have more where that came from. You like that? And there's more. There's plenty more. Bill says, love the let's make a deal concept. Yeah, whatever that show is or whatever, the doors, and you can pick. You don't know what's behind there. It could be a new car. It could be a dud. You don't know, but you will not know if you don't actually. It is magical. Good to see you, Bruce. You will not know. And guess what? Someone else will know. Someone else will get in there. There will be someone else. Matter of time. Someone else gonna get in there. Oh, here's another fun one. These are all super tips. Try to should have preset these, but I was scrambling. I've been scrambling all day. Trust me, there's fires all over the place right now here that I've been putting out all day, all freaking day, all 2 or 3 days now. But I make time for you guys. I make time for you guys. Here's another fun one. Me and my old one. I used to catch shoplifters. I used to catch shoplifters at Walmart. It was a fun job. Endless stories, and it was really good. I was really, really good at it. But the cameras were just, we didn't have a fancy camera. So this is like 2000, early 2000s, and the cameras weren't the zooming kind. So you had to actually be out there pretending like you're shopping. So me and my partner, whose name is Jake also, we were going around, and you'd be circling this store like 1 billion times a day. So we had to do all sorts of funny stuff to make the time exciting until we spotted a potential thief. But one of the things we would do is we would walk as we would turn. There was one, like the back of the store was really long. So you'd make this turn and you'd be just facing this long thing. And it would be like, once we reach a certain point, we'd say the next freaking girl that walks by is going to be your wife, or the next family is going to be like your family. And then you'd wait to see who the next, some freaking white trash family comes out or something, and that's going to be you. Stupid stuff like that. And other things of, who's going to turn around that corner. So that kind of stuff has stuck with me also in sales. And it's another pro tip. And this kind of these mental hacks is I try to imagine what the business owner of that business might look like, or what they talk like, or I just try to do that. And the reason for that is it's just fun. It gives your brain something else to think about, so you're not anxious or nervous. But it also makes you, it lowers that anxiety. It makes you think, and sometimes you're dead on, and you'll also see over time that as you get better and more experience, you'll think of what the person looks like just by how the business looks, the signage you see, the name of it, and you imagine that person, and then you can see it's just funny. I find that sometimes I do good at sales when I'm not thinking too much about it. I'm kind of in there, and I've got in my mind, I was thinking the whole time, what is this person going to look like? And the less you care, sometimes the more you can sell. I'm not saying you don't care about the person, but in sales, the less you care if you get a sale or not, or it's not, but you're not attached. You're not struggling for that sale. The more you can get your mindset into that by doing these little funny things, the better. It can really take the edge off of So you're not sipping on a freaking, what do they call it, a nip, right? Where you do that thing or whatever, or this thing in the vein, whatever you got to do before you take the edge off. What's the other, this thing, freaking pot pipe or whatever, you do this one. I don't know how did they do this, or the big one. So you don't have to do any of that anymore. Now you just use these mental hacks. So Bob Z teaches you the mental hacks, so you're not stuck shooting that hair on. Hold your breath till you get. We used to glue the quarters. I remember we could glue a quarter on the ground. We'd sit out there, and this old lady grabbed it before the glue was dry, and it was just all stuck all over her hand. She's trying to. It is magical, and it's good to see you, Shire. See? How about this one? When you've been a bad boy. Oh, and he showed up. See, you missed all the action in the beginning. You didn't miss too much. Maybe some good things. I'm sure you missed some good things. 2 shots of gin. That's all right. Whatever you got to keep that DUI limit low or whatever. Drive carefully. I'm just kidding. I'm just being funny. Mother to the door. I hope that's not true, but I kind of hope that is true, because that'd be funny. That would be really funny. You guys are funny. Okay, so that's a funny thing to do. I love when you see the names of businesses and they're all like there's one by me called Full Throttle Barbecue. And barbecue places don't do well here. They do terrible. You literally can't have a barbecue place here. It's just not, and I'm a fan of barbecue. I got 2 smokers, but it just doesn't sell here. It's like such a niche thing. And I know like down south and stuff, it's all like a million barbecue places. It's just not. They all go in and out. We have Dinosaur Barbecue that has gotten really big, and that's like a diamond in the rough. But there's like 1 or 2 other places, but they come in and they go. But anyways, I was saying, like, there's this idiot. Wait, can I say on here? Yeah. Watch out, like, make sure I want local clients, freaking Full Throttle Barbecue. And you think, and he's going out of business if he's not out of business already. You get an idea of what these people. I like seeing the names, and I love when it's a huge mismatch. It's like something totally different. Like the name of the business is not at all the owner that you would think. And it's just funny. Takes the edge off. It's funny. Here's another sales pro tip. I should have had these all written out for you. Sorry. Pro tip. I am even forgetful about this sometimes, but it is really, really important. Referrals. So you're using these mindset hacks, and this is something you got to remind yourself. And this is the thing that you should be excited about seeing what's behind that door. You may not make a sale there, or you may, but you may come out of it with a sale or without a sale, but with a great referral. You may come out of it with someone they know, because every sale that's a no, you might turn into one that's a yes. Too many of us, myself included, I'll forget, but too many of us don't ever ask for referrals after, or they only ask them if they've sold something. It is important to just get into your regular sales process of always asking for referrals. When I used to sell home improvements, we had this 10-step process we had to follow. And I was so successful because I followed this 10 steps. And step number 10 was replace the lead. You were always supposed to replace that appointment with another. They know someone in their phone book, or what a phone book. God, we don't have, now it's your phone, with more people that might need whatever. You replace the lead. So that's the same in business to business sales. Maybe you couldn't get a sale now or whatever, but ask them, hey, do you know someone who might be interested? Do you know anyone else that might need printing down the road, or anything that you could refer me to? People are actually more likely to give you names when they haven't bought, because if they like you and they just didn't buy for some reason, there's still this reciprocity there, that they still want to help you out, and they can see this as an avenue to, oh, maybe I'm not buying right now, but I know someone who you could reach out to, or maybe they'll reach out to them for you. sometimes right there while you're there, they can call them up or whatever. So referrals, don't forget that there can be tremendous referral power behind those doors that you don't know. You might make a big connection through a smaller connection. I couldn't even tell you how many of those I've experienced over the years where someone wasn't really a big sale, but they knew someone who ended up giving me a ton of business. And sometimes I'll think of like my biggest clients and I'll try to remember where I got them from. And they'll often lead me right back to a referral of someone that doesn't even strike your memory much anymore. It was someone that wasn't a big deal. Maybe someone you didn't sell, maybe someone you met in passing, and that led you to a bigger one. So the referrals are really, really something to think about. I'm surprised that we didn't have more. I'm really thankful for you guys showing up today. I'm incredibly thankful. I'm surprised we didn't have more though, because I sent it to a large part of my whole email list. I'm surprised we didn't have more people show up, but that's okay. I love you guys. So, oh my God, she was pissed. Love it. No, no, it just doesn't, it don't sell. It doesn't sell. There's a bazillion pizzerias, bagels, bakeries, Italian food, but that barbecue just doesn't. Yeah, they make freaking briskets and stuff, and you can't sell enough of it. This stuff is so freaking high. You're gonna make all these ribs and shit, and no one's gonna eat them. Like it just doesn't sell here. Not that it's not good. I love it, but it's not. It's just not. I guess in the South, you eat this stuff all the time, and you go around and just put the barbecue, and they fight over which sauce is which. North and South Carolina, and that line that goes through North Carolina or something. And some of them use vinegar, and some of them don't, and some of them use freaking mustard. I got two more. Good timing. How do I put these into words? There's a lot of stuff that I do or know that it's hard to put exactly into words. This is a tough one to put in words, but this is a standard part of my sales process. I am naturally, I guess, talented in the fact that I can get people to talk. I get people to open up. It's just always been that way for me. I think one of the reasons is that I ask a lot of questions. I'm a good listener and I ask a lot of questions. But I will always make it a habit of complimenting or inquiring on little stuff that no one mentions. So I know as a business owner, you are constantly doing things, and there's lots of stuff that you may do as a business owner that people don't normally notice. I'm trying to think of examples. These happen all the time, and I look for them specifically. So it may be like a display. It may be a way they've positioned something in the store. It may be a sign. It may be a computer system. It may be something that it's something that you can compliment them on or ask them about that they don't normally get asked about or complimented on. And business owners if they've obviously put some thought into something, whether it's a way something is arranged or displayed or it's just something. Every business is different, but I'm trying to put this into words. They are proud of that, or they've done it for a reason, but no one is ever asking them like, hey, that display looks really great. You're really smart for putting that up here. They like that, and they like to have a chance to talk about that. So it immediately puts you on a good terms with them. They get to talk about themselves, which people like to do, and they don't get a chance to talk about these things a lot. And it makes you look like you are observant. You are a very observant person. Wow, this guy or girl knows what they're doing. Oh, they really know. They must be business people like me too. They have the same line of thinking. So I don't care. I don't care about their display. I don't care, but it's what I call cheap theatrics. It's all cheap theatrics. There are plenty of time, plenty of sales hacks and stuff I use with cheap theatrics. You wouldn't blow your mind. But that is all part of cheap theatrics. You just gotta act. You're like an actor a lot of times, and it's fine. Sometimes you're in a really bad mood, but you gotta act like you're excited. Sometimes you could care less whether they have a new freaking display up in the store, but you gotta act like it's important because you're trying to just get on good terms with them. So little stuff that no one mentioned, that people won't mention. Bring this stuff up. This is why I'll go into a place and so you've never been with me on a sales call, but if someone does, like if you were to go with me on a sales call, whether it's cold or an appointment or whatever, you would probably be impressed or whatever, amazed by how much I can get owners to start talking. Like they will just start talking. And a lot of it is because I'm asking these little tiny questions and noticing things and asking them little questions or off the wall questions. And it just gets talking going. They start talking. And the more they're talking, the more chance there is for a sale. If you go in there all stiff and you're not getting them talking and you're just pitching something, there's not a lot of opportunity there. And you're trying to help them. Sometimes it's just hard. They're naturally resistant. They've dealt with all these bad salespeople and people's trying to shove all this crappy advertising down their throat. You've got something really good. Just because you've got something really good doesn't mean that it will just sell itself. You have to get it in front of them and them to trust you, where then it can sell itself. Like you have to get them in their guard down to like you, all in a matter of seconds. So these are all little things. Perfect timing is social first time. Well, thank you, Frederick. I appreciate that, Fred. I know you go by Fred in your emails because I can remember names. Yeah, merchandising. Yeah, that's the retail word for it. Yeah, merchandising and just little stuff like. God, I can go into business and pick out these things like all over, but I can't. Putting them in the words a little tough. Helps to start the conversation. Home sales and compliment helps. Yes, the freaking warm up was the step when I was in home improvement sales. You had to do like a half hour warm up before you even got to anything else. In business, you have a little less time, but and they can come off as disingenuous. I really like your tie there, sir, or something. It can. That's why I think women I believe females have a distinct advantage, particularly selling to men, just because there's the natural that guys will listen to girls more, or they can woo them more. I think females have an advantage in that sense. I wish there were more female salespeople. I think they would do a lot better than they probably think. Yes. Has to feel real. Yeah, it's not like showering people with compliments. It's hard to put into words, but it's finding these weird things. And the weirder, the better, because that makes it look like it's real. It's more real. Never saw you come in. No. Oh, God, no. Yeah. Not the desperation. Oh, horrible way. So even if you are desperate, you are spot on, Char. But even if you're desperate, you can't act like it. You can't. You have to disassociate your mind from that. You have to mentally change your mindset. You don't know what's behind that door. You don't know. You block everything out. Hit that cocaine. Shoot that heron. Or the freaking salvia. That one. Or the freaking, what's that stuff? Freaking crocodile or something. Crocodile. KRO something. And the zombies. Remember that one? What was that stuff? What's that stuff that turns you into a zombie? Freaking, not fentanyl. One of them that really messes you up bad. Freaking spice or something. I hear these terms. Of course. Although I don't know if it's Jamie or Jaime. I don't know that. That's one. I don't, because I would just assume it's Jamie. But that's one thing when you don't talk to people, when you don't actually talk to them, and you see things on the internet, you don't know how it's pronounced. Here's a fun one. You guys know how to pronounce. Here, I'm going to put it on the thing. Some of you'll cheat, but here's a really fun one. How do I put on a banner? This is going up on a YouTube video actually really soon. How do you pronounce this word? You see these words all the time, just like names of people, and I don't know. May not know how they're said. I have always said indicia. That's how I always pronounce it, indicia. I'm pretty good with pronunciations, but then I was thinking, like, I was looking at the word and I'm like, I wonder if that's not how you say it, because it looks like it's spelled with that you'd pronounce a little more of it. So I Googled the dictionary, and then it has a thing. It's indicia. Indicia. That's the actual pronunciation, is indicia. Indicia. So that was kind of neat. I have one more. Molly. Yeah, but that's just like an ecstasy, right? That's just like the ecstasy tabs. The white horse. I've never heard of that one. Or is that the cocaine? The white horse. Bath salts. Yes, that's it. Bath salts. Oh dear God. An old salesman of mine, when I worked in the home improvement industry, freaking he was in the news a couple years on bath salts. Freaking, oh my God. This is such a good story. Who's Ernie Barrett will because he always tells me I have the story time. Here is the story time. Again, it's really funny. I just hadn't thought of this one forever. But yeah, bath salts. Jaime. Okay, Jaime. So Jaime Ojeda. Ojeda? It's probably Ojeda, but I'm thinking it might be Ojeda, but I think it's Ojeda probably. Indicia. Yeah, see, you guys are all saying indicia, indicia. It's indicia. Look it up. It's indicia. Indicia. I love in Spanish, limes are pronounced like lemons, and lemons are pronounced like limes. It's like it's the reverse. Sounds pompous. Wait, oh my God, I got to tell you this story before we get to the last one. Jaime Ojeda. So it's Ojeda. Jaime Ojeda, right? Okay, wait, here's good story time. Let me add this. Story time. Ernie Barrett will be excited that I had a story time. So I was a really high pressure I was super high, as high pressure as you can imagine, like as high as the highest pressure of ridiculousness. But I was young, and that's what I was trained to do. And I just thought that was normal. I just followed what I was trained to do, which was just extremely high pressure outfit. And I took it to another level, but I'm not proud of that now. And eventually it's a big reason I left the business was because I started feeling bad for what I was like, this isn't right. But one of the in my high pressure peak, this guy, so I was reminded because this guy is on bath salts. I had this new salesperson under me, and all day I would just it was a revolving door of hiring people, taking them out with you, seeing if they'll be able to sell, and then most of them will quit. But anyways, I'm with this kid. He's like 18, bad. He's a really good kid. He was really good. He was a really bad, like he was stealing boat motors and stuff. And he was really nice at the surface. Like he was really was very well mannered and stuff. And his name is Steve Centauri. And Steve is like 19. I'm probably like 24 at the time or something, but we're in this house, and Steve, so it's worth hearing this because it's just so ridiculous. This is so ridiculous. Hope I'm not boring you. I gotta wake you up. When I would get done with appointments, my boss, the owner of the company, would often have me like go to to an existing appointment. So I might be like a half an hour away, and then he was probably like, Centauri's in a house still. Go over and see if you can close the deal for him. So I would then finish an appointment. I would drive wherever else to a newer salesperson that was in a house. He might have been there for 2 hours or something. And then I show up and I would close the deal or, resolve whatever he might be. Just making sure that it probably gets sold. So he's been at this house and we're all in our ties and stuff. And he's like talking to this homeowner. He's probably been in there 2-3 hours. And at this point, they're on like the prices and they're just not buying. So he's sitting there trying to, and I think he had called in maybe with a no sale, but the owner was like, just wait for Jake. He's going to be here or something. So I show up, which is not like, it doesn't look good when you're having a good conversation with the one salesperson. He's not going anywhere. He's trying to sell me. And then this other guy shows up. So it's awkward. But I show up, and I'm like doing a little warm up and I'm like, there's no way around it. It comes off very aggressive, no matter how you do. So I start like word playing, I'm just going through my whole closing thing and freaking verbal jujitsu type stuff. And it is just coming off so bad. Like I'm trying to trap her with these freaking payments and stuff. And she starts getting really upset, but she still wants these windows. She still wants all the windows. And she loves Steve. She loves the new salesman. She loves him. So anyways, I'm hammering her. I'm like just totally hammering. I'm not proud of that now, but I am just going to town on this and not getting anywhere and trying to trap her in this stuff. And she's just not having it. And she's like, I am done with you. And she refuses to talk to me. So we're both sitting here, me and Steve, and she's across, we're in like her living room or kitchen or something. And she's like, I'm not talking to him. And then, so she's only talking to Steve, and Steve doesn't know enough about like the payments and like, he doesn't know enough about stuff yet that he can answer her questions. So she's talking to him, and then then I have to talk to Steve so Steve can say what I'm trying to say to her. I mean, we're sitting because she will not acknowledge me at this point. So I have to say, Steve, tell her this or whatever. And then he would say it. And then she ends up buying. I mean, that was ridiculous. That was the height of absolute ridiculousness because she had liked him so much. What was done with me. One time a guy wanted to, but the other salesman, he's like, Jake, he's like, who died of drug overdose recently. It was very sad, but he was like, Jake, she's like, Jake, you can't go over to this one people's house again. They wanted to put a billboard up on the freaking US Highway 20, which is like a major road that goes through New York State. And with a billboard, they were looking into putting a billboard that said, do not buy anything from Jake Lorraine or whatever, because I had high pressured them so bad or something. They want to put a billboard up. That was crazy. He's like, what did you do? Yeah, see, I got it right. Sorry for my sidetracking off that story. We got 10 minutes left of this show. I got to get to the last thing. Yeah, did you like that? Those are just funny times to think back on. I'm not like that anymore. And I don't. You going to get? Okay, thank you. I don't encourage that. That doesn't even fly really now. It's a different time. Worcester. Oh, I know that. We have a Worcester actually here too. We have Worcester, New York. There's a Chile, New York, near Rochester. If anyone lives in Rochester, but it's pronounced Chili, Chili, Chili. There's Athens, not Athens. There's Cairo, not Cairo. We have all these weird Honeoy. That was a funny story. Story time. Oh, the last thing that I wanted to say is right on time. This is very helpful. Mental hacks. Hard to put in words. I'm just gonna do my best. It'll make sense if I say it. So, last hack, professional mental hack sales process is for big spenders, I talk big. For little spenders, I talk little. You can tell who's a big spender, who's a little spender. Are you awake? Make sure.
Nice.
I'll make sure you're awake. The way I will talk or the questions I will ask will often be dependent on whether they're a big potentially spending or not, and sometimes just their attitude. So, an example: if I'm in a retail shop and they're a small retail shop, and most smaller retail shops, they're not going to have a big advertising budget. They're not spending thousands of dollars. It doesn't make sense. Their ticket sales are low. Maybe they're seasonal. It could take years for something like that to be profitable. So I know I'm not going to be not going to be working with someone with a huge budget or potential to spend a lot of money, but I still maybe want to get them to spend the space on an $300, $500 on a shared postcard or whatever, maybe some business cards, whatever, just something. And I've identified that they're likely a small spender. I'm not going to talk to them about spending thousands of dollars because that's not irrelevant. It's going to put them off. So what I do is I'm going to talk small. I'm going to get on their level. People want to do business with someone on their level or slightly above. But you want to say things that are like, I know how hard it is. Trust me, I know how expensive. I know that money's tight. Advertising budgets are tight. I will use those phrases a lot because that puts me on the same. It's like they can identify with that. They know that things are tight, and you will hear almost automatically these still open up with stories about how they haven't paid themselves yet. Maybe they've been in business 2 years and they've never paid themselves, or thank God their husband has a job or their wife has a job because they can they don't know how much longer the store is going to be open. You'll start to hear things like that because you have given them kind of a chance to speak about those things because you're like that. You're understanding. And they don't always have someone to talk about those things, whether to talk freely. And now here's a chance that they can talk with someone who understands. So I will use words like that. I'll be like, I know how these times are very tough. Advertising budget tight. They'll say things like a non-existent, like I know how it is. I totally know how it is. I completely understand. So I will get on to that level. And once you're on that level and you're having a good discussion, there's obviously a need for more business. They want to do marketing, but they just can't really spend anything. So then when you work in a few $100 is going to be totally affordable. And you can use things like split strike and split extensions. You remember that one? Split payment extensions, where you take a down payment, you take the rest, and then you charge them 30 days later. So you're actually breaking it into 3, which helps your cash flow, which helps their cash flow. All these different ways to just make it affordable. And now spending $50 here, $100 here isn't a problem because it's broken up over multiple weeks. But you're now on that same level. I mean, you're talking small with them. You're not going in there trying to get them to spend all this money that they're not going to likely have and turn them off. Now, when it's a big spender, when it's a potentially big spender, you have to take the opposite direction. And you'll be surprised at how much people can spend. It took me a little while to understand that people spend thousands of dollars, tens of thousands of dollars, like nothing. Like it's nothing. Like it's not $1,000 here, $1,000 here. For many businesses, it's nothing. It's like a penny. Okay. You get accustomed to spending this amount of money. If you're on a bigger business that's maybe doing a lot of advertising, they may already be spending $30,000, $40,000 a month. It's no big deal. They add another $5,000. Let's try something at $7,000. You want to pick up a $7,323 check later today, and it's like it's nothing. I mean, it's significant, but it's not. This is just normal. You have to get in your head. This is normal. So you talk big. Don't be afraid of these numbers. Don't spit out big numbers. And the more you spit out these big numbers and are confident in them, the more they're going to see it from you. This isn't a big deal. They're not going to be like, oh, I don't have the money. Because a lot of these people, not all of them, but a lot of them have bigger egos, and they want to make sure that they are a solid business owner, and that like you throw something at them that's $10,000 or $5,000, it's not a big deal. Okay, it's not really a big deal. Let's do it. Let's try it. Big numbers. We're going to talk big numbers. I'm going to sit there trying to talk about a $500 ad with a business owner that's spending thousands and thousands of dollars. This is $500 like a penny. I mean, I know it's an investment, but spending $500, I mean, you give it a shot, see what happens. If you talk like that with them, then they are going to be like, yeah, okay, yeah, let's do it. Let's try it. It's almost like an ego thing, you know. $500, come on, Jim. 500, this freaking $500. You need me to loan you the money? Let's start with your border into that. I've done that many times. You need me to loan you the money? If you say it playfully, I've gotten out of some. I've done that on like $1,000, $2,000 jobs. You know, when they're like on the edge and it's something's like 1,000, 2,000. You know, they want to do it, but you know, I don't want to spend like that. And I hit them on the shoulder like that. You know, you need to take out a little loan from me. You need to freaking borrow the money. It's not going to take the food off the table as a gym. And I say that in a funny sense. So they're like, oh no, it's not. Let's just do it. Let's just do it. That's it. That's what I got for you. Hopefully that was helpful. I hope that stuff was helpful. These are all little nuances that make significant differences. Imagine a new salesperson. They come in and I'm talking that way with someone and you're walking in cold and you're walking out with $1,000 jobs and the people are like, and I'm asking them if they want to borrow money from me or something. Like it can seem ridiculous and overwhelming if you've never gone in and talked with business owners, but really it's just these little nuances and these little mindsets that make the difference, that can turn you into a timid person trying to sell a few $100s to someone who's confident in selling, asking for thousands of dollars. I'm going to look at these comments and we're going to sign off pretty soon. I'm starving. Worcester. Yeah, except when you say Worcestershire sauce, because that's when it's Worcester. You guys are all good. I'm probably telling you all things that you already know. High pressure. I probably should make a segment on it because there's so many. I mean, there are the most ridiculous things I've done. I mean, these insane things. One guy was claiming he owned the strip club and he was claiming he had to get over there to let the girls in or something. And he was like, I sold him the windows and I took him. He said, you know, he gave me some story. Turns out he was just he just goes to the strip club and he didn't have a ride. And he was playing it off like he was the owner and he needed to let the girls in or something. I mean, there's just so many. What I like about it tells me you could teach to be high pressure. Oh, for sure. That is really my expertise. I became really good at selling or catching shoplifters too for this similar fashion. I started off very aggressive, very straight, and I was trained that way, extremely aggressive. And I was trained when I was catching shoplifters. I was trained by these two crazy, one's a state trooper now and one's a city police officer, but the one guy was insane. And he was just like, it was just looking for fights. It was all this like just crazy, high freaking anxiety, like the kind of cop that like is you don't want to deal with now, like the cop in the media, you know, the overzealous freaking jerk. And that's what I thought was normal. So I was getting in all these fights. I was getting freaking chasing people, freaking knives and freaking all this like just intense stops. And we call them stops. And then over time, I was like, there's got to be a better way. And I eventually, over the years, I did it for about 4 years. I became I was the best in 1 month. I caught the most shoplifters of any Walmart for 1 month. But I finessed to where it was a very, towards in the end, I was stopping people by just coming up to them and saying, hey, I'm Jake. I'm with Loss Prevention here. I think you might've just forgotten to pay for something. That was a line I came up with, and people would stop, you know, for a second, and you could see them turning their face, and they're like, okay, now I can get, I'm like, nah, no problem. Let's go in here. We'll talk about it. I get them in the office and then freaking call the cops. And before, you know what, the cops were in there. They were thinking the whole time they were just going to get to repay the thing, and they were arrested for shopping because my finesse had gotten so much better. And that happened with sales too. I went from this extremely aggressive over, like, just would twist your words, would trap you into things. And it became a much more finesseful thing where maybe the ideas started to, you thought you came up with these ideas, or maybe this was these natural conclusions. I do believe that if you spend more time on the presentation and other things, the close is just a natural reaction. You can either spend very little time on the salesmanship part and a long time on a close, and it becomes brutal and bloody, or you can spend a longer amount of time on the presentation and all the other stuff in a very small amount of time on the close. Thank you. Appreciate that, Bill. And Phil, thank you for joining, Phil. It's nice to see you. Thank you, Amy. I appreciate that. I appreciate all you guys. A little piece helps. Great tips. Everyone will forget this. It'll end up in a product somewhere later, I'm sure, someday, higher level stuff. I hope everyone's going to have a great week. I hope you guys are having a good week. I have to get the banger done. I've got to get I have a guide that I've been making. I was hoping to have it out for Black Friday. I was hoping to do a Black Friday sale, but it didn't, too much stuff going on. But a guide on the kind of the direction of 2023. I struggle with like a freaking imposter syndrome. I always think, no one really wants to hear anything from me or my opinions and stuff. And then I'm like, I make a living at this. I make some pretty good money and I'm good at local marketing. I probably should offer advice. I have to remind myself that all the time. But I want to make a nice guide on, I have most of it done, on just where I think 2022 is heading, the things that I think you should go after. Very useful, super useful stuff. Yeah, I got to get that done ASAP because this is an interesting one. This is a very big turn. December is a very huge turn in local marketing because you are essentially almost done with the holidays. So there's still a little opportunity in these next few weeks, but it's going to be over really fast. And you're going to go into January, which is going to be a totally different time period. So what you're selling over these next few weeks is going to be very different than other months. Could you just say, I'm not here to sell you. You need to sell yourself. You have to. Yeah, they have to sell themselves, but I think they need that little boost sometimes. They need, especially today where there's not very many options. This is in part of my the new guide I'm making, but there are not many options. There's not many advertising options for business owners. They try Facebook ads, and that's getting really challenging. The iOS update, it's oversaturated. There's not a whole lot of options. It's like Yellow Pages isn't there anymore. People aren't putting as much TV. It's all been replaced by streaming. Like there's just not this huge assortment of advertising options anymore. SEO has gotten smarter. It's not like you can just hack your way into getting search results. So you have to kind of sell them on. They have to see that confidence in you, that you have something that's really, really beneficial. They need that. It's almost like a lot of businesses are struggling to find something that floats, and you might be that one. Thank you. Appreciate it. Oh, the banger. No, the banger. I'm surprised you don't know the banger. You're on the getting emails every month, every month with the exception I missed, I think 2 months this year. Every month I make Jake's little monthly marketing banger. It's like a little document. It's usually somewhere between like 15 and 25 pages. It's very concise, to the point. And it shows you what I'm doing right now. So the things that you couldn't be doing right now, because what you're selling right now what I'm selling right now isn't for what's going on right now. It's for what's going to be happening over the next few months, the next season, it's you're looking forward. Because if you try to sell holiday marketing right now, you may not have time you don't have time. You're running out of time. By the time you can put something together, the holiday season is done. And a lot of marketers struggle with it because they're trying to sell things now and not thinking of what's going on. And it also, I share little golden tips, little things you never thought of, and what niches are like about to pop off. So every season, every month is a change, and some businesses are doing really well. They're about to enter their busy season. Some are very slow, and there's things that you can sell those niches. So I'm basically doing all the work that I have to do anyways for myself, and I'm sharing it with you, so you have kind of someone doing all the work for you. Thank you. I'm glad you enjoyed that break watching me. I use StreamYard. I can't recommend it enough. And there's even a free plan, and it's really reasonable. Even a regular one is reasonable. It's StreamYard, StreamYard.com. And I also use a Stream Deck which is a separate piece of equipment that allows me to change, play sounds and just change banners. If I were to see, I don't have a banner, but, displays. I mean, I can put different, and if I had guests, I can just arrange people in all different ways. You can have up to 10 people. There's so much stuff you can do. They can display. Thank you, John. Appreciate that a ton. I'm going to sign off her. Thank you, Dan. I appreciate that. I was very proud of that one. I also formatted it a little nicer. Thank you, guys. Have a great week before my freaking throat dies here. Have a great week. I'm going to see you next week. I'll probably have the banger before then. I'm going to try. I got a lot of work to do, and you have a lot of work to do. So I'm going to see you soon. Have a good day, good night, good morning, wherever you are.